Hi everybody, so the color palette today is quite varied, but I wanted to do some fall colors again, kind of stuck on the fall color palette. But here's a couple standouts, this cranberry color I made, and look at this vermilion, that's Winsor & Newton vermilion, and look at this. I made that using a Golden's Gold with a little bit of copper. And that is a Soho color, a bright orange. And then today's canvas is a Master's Touch Classic Collection oval canvas. I love this canvas so much. I'm really loving the ovals and the round canvases. I got them at Hobby Lobby, so if you're interested in getting those at Hobby Lobby, that's where you can get them. I ran across a sale that was like 50% off, so normally these canvases run about $17 a piece, so they're a little pricey, but if you can find a half off sale, it's a really good deal. So guys, I wanted to say, please be a patron of the arts and share my channel. You can share your favorite video, you can share on Facebook, I see some of you doing that, or Instagram, or any kind of social media. Anything will help. You do not have to have money to support an artist, you just share, and then they will grow naturally, and that is a great way to support an artist if you don't have the money to buy a painting. If you can, donate a little bit. There is a PayPal link in my description box, and that does help me continue to bring more art videos for you and also support me as an artist as I begin the second part of my career life as a full-time artist. So that's what's happening right now, you guys, and I have to say thank you so much for all the love and support and kindness. It is definitely not going unnoticed, especially at this point in my life. We all have these little transitionary periods, and I think you guys have been along with me for the last month or so while I've been going through mine. It has made for some interesting art. I look back and I really see a lot of emotion and passion in my work the past 6 weeks or so, and that is no mistake. There's definitely been a lot going on in my personal life, so and a transition in my business life. So between those two things, I definitely see a shift in my work. So thank you so much. Now, this painting, this is the first time I've ever worked on an oval canvas, and I'm like over the moon, like over the moon with it. I wish I had ordered way more, but they are a little on the pricey side. Like I said, I had got a 50% off deal, otherwise I probably would never have ordered one. But what I'm doing is just layering the colors here. Now, the dark color that you see in there, the first one is a Van Dyke brown, and the second one was just a tiny little bit of black. And as I'm painting, you guys, the most amazing thunderstorm and rainstorm occurred, and I had to show you, I have to stop for a second and show you. That's the view from my painting window, and I had to literally step outside and show you. There was just a beautiful rainbow. The sky just had that beautiful, perfect end of summer color to it. Kind of a golden color. It was very pretty. So it was quite inspiring. I had to stop, go take a picture, come back. Anyway, part of the goal on this one was to transition the colors from cool to warm across the canvas. And so that's what you can see me doing right there. I'm just layering them directly on the canvas the way that you would for a swipe. So you can see I go from gold, starting on the left there, like a yellow gold, a Titan buff, a little bit more gold, yellow, pale green, like a green gold, and then a dark hunter's green. And then we get the Van Dyke brown, a little strip of copper there, black, and then we go into that cranberry wine red color, yellow ochre, yellow, vermilion orange, and then that bright, like almost neon Soho orange. And then I just start repeating the lines. Yellow again, the cranberry Marlowe kind of color again. I know I keep using different adjectives for that one, but it's hard to tell exactly what was in it. I put a lot of stuff in there. I think it was Alizari and Crimson actually, and then I started adding some things to adjust it. And then I wanted to show you, so see this little cup right here? It's Van Dyke brown. I add water to it. This is going to be my swipe color. And wait till you see how many cells and lacing I get. And I'll tell you, I'm going to show you why. I take just a tiny bit, and you can see just a little squirt of the Liquitex Pouring Medium. And I'm going to just put a little squirt of that in there along with a little water. See, it's not very much, just a little bit. And then I'll mix those two together. And the reason I took the time to show you that is because I was in a discussion with another artist who swears that Liquitex Pouring Medium does not create cells. And I'm telling you, it creates cells. It's literally labeled E for effects. And that's why it literally gives effects. Lacing and cells. It'll give you those big pebble cells, and I can't wait to show you a painting that I just did. In fact, I'm going to give you a little preview. Hold on. Okay, I'm just going to give you a quick pass over this one because I still want you to be excited to see the whole thing in the video and everything, but that's a pretty one. But my point in that is that Liquitex Pouring Medium does give all kinds of cells, including this pebble cells that you just saw in that last piece. And it also can give you some lacing. And granted, like thin paint over thicker paint will give you lacing as well. So that's why I add a little bit of water. But you'll see I'm also getting kind of some of those rounder looking cells, and that is from the Liquitex Pouring Medium edition. So, and it'll become more apparent as I continue swiping, but someone told me to just cut my swiping plastic to little pieces, and I finally did that, and it is so helpful. It's so much more controlled, and yeah, I never tried that before, so it was pretty cool. Now, this technique, I just use the same technique on the other side of the canvas. So I turn it around, and I'm also swiping from the center, which has the Van Dyke brown with a little bit of the Liquitex Pouring Medium in there. I'm sorry about the lighting, it's pretty bright. That's that copper color, that metallic copper. Now, in case you guys haven't figured this out yet, metallics tend to sell. And then a viewer had contacted me and said, oh, I used all metallics, but I didn't get the results that I wanted. And one thing I want to tell you is try not to use all metallics. There's something magical that happens when you mix metallics with regular paints. So use a combination of paints, opaques, transparents, metallics, and that will give you probably the most effects. That's just what I've found. in my paintings. I try to use a combination of all of those things, and you get some really pretty effects there. But see the blooming part that I'm talking about down there, that yellow? That's from the pouring medium that I added and swiped over. Now, I did like the swipe as it was, but what you guys didn't see was I let this sit for, I don't know, like 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And as I did that, I just continued to lose the beautiful definition, and the whole thing just started to look not very defined, in my opinion. One of the reasons this can happen is your paint is too thin, and mine wasn't. It was pretty thick, so that was not my issue. The second thing is you have too much paint on your canvas. So basically it's just continuing, especially if you use Floetrol, which I did in this mix. Floetrol is a leveler, so it's basically helping your paints level out. And so as they sit, they're just continuing to flow. It's called Floetrol. So it helps your paints flow and naturally level. And so that's what it's doing. It's doing its job. But unfortunately, that can also mean that you start to lose some of the beautiful patterns. So my balloon rolls were a great way to remove some of the paint that was on there and redefine some of those areas. Now I know some of you are going to be mad because I'm messing up the bottom, but there was so much paint on there. I really just put a ton of paint, and the swiping that I did not take very much of it off. So I had to go ahead and do something more drastic. But I'm already loving the contrast of the cool lime green, green gold, and gold areas at the top of the canvas, transitioning into the reds, orange, copper, yellow. You can see I'm adding just a little bit of the white to my balloon, just to give a little bit of highlight and definition to some of those areas. It's hard though. Down at the bottom, copper is a weird color. I mean, it's red, has a red undertone, a warm undertone, and kind of brown. And what can happen is it can get really muddy very quickly. So see how it's starting to just get kind of muddy down there? No balloon rolls are going to save that. There's nothing I can really do, so I have to scrape it off. Now I love this painting otherwise, so I decide to try to fix it, and I just go back and drizzle some of the colors over the top of the scraped canvas. And I have to make sure that I'm not putting colors on there that will turn muddy when I roll them. So I leave the Van Dyke Brown out. I want some copper because it needs to match the other side, but not a lot of copper, so just a little bit. That was what got me in trouble in the first place. And then I just do need a tiny bit of definition in there, so it looks like I did end up using some Van Dyke in there after all. I'm sorry, I'm commenting as I'm watching this. And then the balloon roll over the top. And look how pretty, it just added a whole nother dimension to that. And now I'm gonna do it to the other side too. You know, I never used to talk in my videos, and some people have said, oh, the talking is too much. I've gotten some comments about that. But it's actually proven to be just an amazing reflection tool for me. I go back and really look at my paintings, describe the process. Sometimes it's just what I'm feeling. during the time, you know, that I was painting. It really makes me look at the colors, the choices that I made, and I just find it to be kind of cathartic and extremely, see that one? That's what I was worried about right there. That little mud part. But it might be okay. I add a little white, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. I can kind of predict what I'm going to do before I even see it. But anyway, yeah, talking about my art and going back it really kind of helps me understand my own process a little bit better. And then I take that information and I take it with me to my next painting. So the last thing I'm doing on this is just going in and bringing some of the dark lines into the work. And I just think it adds a little depth to it. So be prepared, you guys, for more varied, unique, and interesting pieces from me coming up. I have like, I don't know, 7 paintings I want to show you. I've been very prolific right now as I transition into being a full-time artist. Been taking my work very seriously. And also just populating my website and building my shop. So if you haven't been there yet, you should visit heathermaderart.com. You could make one of these paintings your own. And I'm trying to produce some smaller pieces too that aren't quite as expensive as some of the bigger pieces. So I also have limited edition luster professionally printed prints for sale. And those, I cannot wait. This weekend, stay tuned to my channel this weekend, you guys. I cannot wait to show you the print that I have coming up. It's truly one of my most remarkable pieces I've ever made, and I'm pretty proud of it. So I will be launching that print this weekend on my channel. Look at how pretty this painting turned out, you guys, and dried. My goodness, still incredibly vibrant. And that's why I use some of those little weirdo colors in there, because they really pop. Look at that dried. You just cannot beat that kind of a dried result. And with a little varnish, it's gonna be stunning. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your love, kindness, and support, and have a beautiful day. Don't forget to subscribe and hit all notifications so I can make more art videos just for you.